All right, everyone. Happy Tuesday to y'all. And I got to say, I said yesterday, go big or go home. And I called 80 degrees, and we're at 80 degrees at O'Hare right now, even at 6 o'clock in the evening. Thank you. It was my optimism that got us over that hump from 79. A gorgeous day. This is the Jam. Amy Rutledge is to my, well, your left. That's all that matters to the viewer. Yeah, that's fine. And then Brandon Pope in for Felicia tonight.
Here we are.
Here we are. Welcome, everybody. We got a lot to get to this evening. We are going to start off with the Chauvin trial, so let's get right into it. Prosecution witnesses in the Derek Chauvin trial testifying today that the use of force he used on George Floyd did not follow his training or standard police tactics. While the defense spotlighted the difficulty in real-time decision-making with one of the department's use of force instructors.
What is proportional force?
Well, you want to use the least amount of force necessary to meet your objectives, to control. And if those lower uses of force do not work, would not work, or too unsafe to try, then you can increase your level of force against that person.
When we talk about proportionality, is proportional to what?
I would say the level of resistance you're getting.
So body cam video from the officers show Floyd resisting getting into the police car. Another prosecution witness, a medical support coordinator and crisis intervention coordinator with Minneapolis PD, agreeing with the defense, saying the crowd made it difficult for Chauvin to give Floyd any medical assistance. Court wrapped up with testimony from a use of force expert from Los Angeles Police Department. He highlighted that Floyd, who was bigger than the officers, only attempted to get free from the officers' grasps once.
Again, it's based on the person's actions, not specifically just their size and stature.
And so in conducting a use of force review or looking at the objective reasonableness of force, is it appropriate to use force against an individual simply because of their larger size?
No.
What was interesting as he continued his testimony this afternoon is the fact that they say that while sometimes use of force is necessary, it's rendered really quickly and then it's dispersed once the person is under control.
Yeah, that use of force question is the big question here. And so to hear these experts talk about that, the nuances of it, when it should be applied, that's going to be crucial to this case as well, because that's really what it's all about here. I do find this defense strategy weird. You know, this idea that there was too much going on around Derek Chauvin for him to be able to focus and do the right thing. Last time I checked, police officers are used to getting called names, used to chaotic situations, or at least they should be, or else you shouldn't be a police officer. So the idea that being called names made Derek Chauvin choke someone to death, that doesn't make much sense to me. And so it feels like a little bit of a Hail Mary argument.
Yeah, well, I think it's relatable. I think that's what they're banking on, that everyone can appreciate a high pressure situation. Maybe they're trying to put in the jury's mind, all right, imagine if you were this scared of a crowd around you. You don't know what's going to happen. What are you going to do? I think that's at least what they're kind of appealing to. I find what the prosecution does where they bring up witnesses that show the actual training manuals, what they go through. They talk about the loops in which they're supposed to assess threats and situations and always the principles that guide them throughout it. I think it's effective. It also does highlight to me, man, being a police officer, and this is not a statement about Derek Chauvin anyway, is a difficult job. There's a lot that they have to keep in their minds while they're doing this. And it appears that Derek Chauvin did not do that in this case, at least what the prosecution alleges. But it's very detailed what they're supposed to do. And I think with each passing witness, for me at least, it keeps on sliding on, yeah, but was it really all that necessary what he did?
Yeah, and I think to what Brandon was talking about earlier, all they're trying to do at this point right now as defense is poke holes in the argument, right? It has to be reasonable doubt. That's all they're trying to get in there. And so one of the witnesses today also went on to talk about some of the pictures that he saw, and he's talking in cross-examination. Yes, Derek Chauvin's knee was on Floyd's back and not his neck. And was that okay? And was he just holding him down? And so those are the little nuances that will make or break this case.
Definitely. And, you know, talking about the use of force experts and those police officers, for the second day, we have a police officer shown a picture of Derek Chauvin with his knee on George Floyd's neck. And we have that officer say, I've never been trained that way. That's not what we're trained to do. I've never, ever in my life heard so many law enforcement officials, officers come forward especially the chief of police we heard from yesterday, against a fellow officer in a case like this. I think it is quite a moment. It really speaks to how much of a touchstone moment this trial really is. We're talking about decades and decades and decades. Like I hear the LAPD guy was in there too. You think about LAPD and what they've gone through when it comes to police brutality and use of force. It's just interesting seeing it all come full circle and seeing this kind of blue wall of silence kind of coming down a little bit.
Down. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
I think that this probably isn't the proper place for this conversation, the trial that is, but I mean, we have to eventually have broader conversations in all of our cities about, yes, okay, let's say that Floyd was resisting arrest and some use of force was needed in order to, contain him or whatever the case may be. We're talking about a counterfeit bill. If George Floyd runs away, who cares? Like, who cares? He's alive. You can go catch him another time. Like, I don't. That's what I think needs to be like completely reasoned through all of this. The appropriate thing when you get to the scene and the analysis of it and the importance of it. I mean, you don't assume that every single person has a weapon out there. You got, counterfeit bill, he's resisting, he's running away. I always feel that way, same way with like police chases. Like, let the person just go. You got his license plate, get him another day. I don't get that.
Well, John, you just highlighted exactly what the big problem was, and what sparked all of the protests around this country was, why did a black man who just allegedly showed a counterfeit bill get taken down by police? Would a white man have done that?
Right. It speaks to the fear a lot of African Americans have too. Like, making one mistake could be a death sentence. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, me as a kid, I did some stupid stuff. I stole a Gatorade from a gas station before. That shouldn't have been a death sentence, it's a mistake, but it's not a mistake that warrants me losing my life, right? But it seems like with these cases, it becomes judge, jury, executioner right there in those moments. And that really is the issue here. George Floyd should still be alive today and should still be with us. And what that officer did so brazenly with the hand in the pocket, it's an image that just stuck in so many people's minds. And it's just, it's hoping for healing after this, no matter what happens.
Agreed. Sure.
Yeah. All right, guys, some other news headlines you need to get to here. Longtime Florida Congressman Alcee Hastings has died at 84 after battling cancer. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis will schedule a special election to fill that vacancy. He was a Democrat. President Biden has moved up the deadline for states to make all adults eligible for the COVID vaccine to April 19th. Mayor Lori Lightfoot announced today that the city will meet that deadline. And the White House has completely ruled out vaccine passports or any database to track who has and who has not been vaccinated. John?
All right, we're starting to see a more fashionable mask option for you. The new ones put your latest Etsy purchase to shame. Here they are. They're from will.i.am and Honeywell.
Ooh.
The super mask comes complete with LED lights, noise-canceling earbuds, built-in fans for ventilation, and HEPA filters. They go on sale April 8th for $300.
Oh, wow. Woo.
Well, first of all, not the first time they've done these futuristic masks / head things. I've seen a bunch of them out there. Actually, the $300 is cheaper than some of the earlier ones that were like going for like $700, $800, and they were like the helmets, So I can appreciate if we're going to be in these for another couple of years, maybe. Hope that's not the case, but it may be. Let's make it work.
Was that you knocking on wood on your desk?
Yeah, knock on wood.
Didn't see that. Okay. I was like, is that one of your kids trying to get in, or what was it?
No. Knock on wood.
Oh,
should have said it out loud. Sorry.
Yeah, I definitely like the look of them. I just have a tough time reasoning with myself to spend $300 on something like that.
But would you do it for headphones,
of like how long? No, I'm not a guy who I just got those wireless earbuds. I just got. I've been holding off on that forever. I don't need $300 headphones or a $300 mask, and having them both together doesn't quite do it for me either. The big if is how long are we going to be in this where we're wearing masks? Maybe that's a good investment then, if so.
Yeah.
I still wear a bandana. It's worked for me. So
that's not enough coverage, John Hansen. More than one ply. Come on.
Worked for me. I don't know about all the people around me, but it's done okay for me. No, I'm just
still
kidding.
Looks pretty cool though. Yeah.
Look like
John
I'm
the
robbing
Cowboy.
a train.
Cops and robbers.
Hopping in the
All
saloon,
of it.
robbing a train.
God,
Darn
should've
tootin'.
laughed.
All right, guys. Well, the MLB All-Star Game, it has a brand new home, and one politician has a pretty big hot take about it. We're going to break it all down after the break. Krista, what's up?
Hey, coming up in Hollywood headlines, admitting you're wrong is the worst. So we're giving big snaps to this celeb who bounced back after the internet roasted him. That's coming up in a bit. We'll be right back.
All right, look at your 3-day forecast. Might have some rain, storms tomorrow, but another 80-degree day. That's part of a cold front that comes through. Still going to be above average Thursday and Friday. This report sponsored by United Auto Insurance. Get your free quote. Call or click today.
Yep, Baylor men's basketball team is back home in Waco after clinching its first national title. The Bears beat Gonzaga 86-70 and upset the end of the Bulldogs' perfect season. John.
All right, well, the Masters kicks off this weekend, so I walked out to my backyard and asked legendary swing coach Chris Como to fix it up. We encountered a few hiccups along the way. Take a look. For people that are maybe just starting, or maybe they've gone for a long time and they have a swing that doesn't work, I might be talking about myself. What are some basic tips that you can give someone just to like start getting that swing in the right place?
Yeah, I mean, it's so this is where I'm just not a big tip person, right? In general, I think tips are kind of a crapshoot of whether they work for you, and if it does work, then it's usually for like a pretty short duration of time. So I would tell you that you got to find like a coach to work with, and just really start to learn your swing and start to develop a game plan to kind of get better with your game. That's what I would be advocating for. I came into this Golf Galaxy today and saw that they've completely redone their whole like program for club fitting, instruction, hired a bunch of LPGA and PGA professionals. So coming to a place like this or wherever it is, but the point is just to find a coach that can really help you with your game. I think that's the best way to get better at it.
Yeah, I've walked into Golf Galaxies a long time, and they help you out from start to finish with a lot of things, whether it's measuring, picking out the right club. Just talking to a professional, I think, really helps, and it's going to save you money and time in the long run.
Yep, for sure.
So having said that, what's your schedule? Can you come to Chicago and make me a better golfer in the next 2 to 3 weeks? Because we're about to warm up.
I got the Masters next week. So next week's out, but we can talk about the following weeks.
It sounds good. Now, I understand you can't see me, right?
I cannot see you now.
Perfect. That's the best way to witness one of my swings. I'm going to take one and illustrate my biggest problem. Maybe you could think of one pointer because it's, and I'll illustrate this for our fans. No surprise, I'm not a very good golfer. I got my 9-iron out here. Which what is a good golfer? How far does a 9-iron usually go, Chris?
Are you a righty or a lefty? First off,
I'm a righty.
Okay. What does the ball typically do? Does it slice or draw typically?
Slice.
Okay. All right. So a 9-iron, I mean, probably like 140, 150 would be. No.
That's pretty good. That's about where
okay. You're doing all right. You're doing fine.
The wind is blowing 20 miles an hour, so that certainly helps me if it's in the right direction. Now, when I take a swing, a lot of times what I notice is my elbow starts to bend really early. That's bad news, right?
I mean, not always. Sometimes guys' elbows bend a bit in transition, but I'd have to see specifically what you're doing. Oh, I can see. Like, okay, so that's pretty bad, actually. I wouldn't do that.
Oh
just
God!
kidding.
Hold on.
I can't see you.
Chris.
No, I can't see you. I'm just kidding. I'm sure it looks great.
Well, this is the exact reason why you need a coach with you who can see everything you're doing to point it all out.
Exactly. So people like me can't like put bad things in your head.
Pretend this is a really good one. I'm about to swing. All right, I'm up at the ball. Quiet now. Hush. All right. You can gymnast this if you want. About 148 out. Little uphill, slight breeze left to right. Let's see how he does. And swing!
That left or right's going to get you with that slice.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't even see me, and he still knew I hit it terribly. Go to Golf Galaxy for all your golf needs there. GolfGalaxy.com is where I will be booking my lessons. Mr. Pope?
Yeah, I'll make sure you're not on my team. All right, guys, news you need to know. Republican politicians around the country, they are livid about Major League Baseball's decision to move the All-Star game out of Atlanta, Georgia, and over to Colorado. The MLB says it made the move over Georgia's voting law, which it feels restricts voting. But some are pointing out some inconsistencies with that. For example, the Georgia bill has 17 days of early voting allowed, whereas Colorado only has 15 days of early voting. Now, some claim this is wokeness going too far, like Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.
I'll tell you how people of color are hurt. When Major League Baseball pulls the All-Star game out of Georgia, the city of Atlanta is 51% black. They moved it to Denver. Denver is 9% black. Major League Baseball just hurt people of color.
Oh, the grift. Oh. I hate when people use people of color as kind of like a catch-all. Yeah.
It's like kind of hair raising in the back, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, this Colorado voting comparison thing is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Yes, they have 2 less days of early voting. Here's what Colorado does. It's a little bit different. See if you can spot the differences between Georgia. Colorado sends every single eligible voter an application to vote in the mail. 94% of Coloradans voted by mail in the last election. They have the least restrictive voting ID requirements of any state in the country. And if you do want to vote in person, they are more than gracious and let you register on the same day as you're voting. So by pointing out those one little fact, they're trying to play gotcha. Well, you ain't getting John Hanson.
This is where I suspect someone besides John Hanson did their homework, namely MLB.
Yeah, jeez.
That's what it sounds like. I mean, MLB made this decision because they consulted with black players and former players and players who were concerned about it. This was a players' issue, and the players in baseball, having some rare power, it seems, have some influence over the commissioner. So, I think it's to be celebrated.
This was
honestly.
their platform. This was their platform through the season. They can't go back on it now and then stand in a state that is cutting voting rights when they were trying to get out the votes. That is the exact opposite of everything they've been trying to do.
And
The
when
exact
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who has even worse opinions than sports commentator Dan Patrick, in the Battle of Dan Patrick, when he says Atlanta is 51% black and you're taking the All-Star game away from them, I think those people would rather vote than have the All-Star game just happening nearby.
Right.
Like, they're not going. Most people aren't going to the game. Like, it doesn't matter to them.
Plus, he's assuming that black people would see that money. That's not how capitalism works, okay? That's not necessarily how that exactly works all the time. This trickle-down way of thinking, that's not how it goes. I personally just hate that we have terms like woke and cancel that were invented by black people, cool black kids, that now are being adopted by these old white guys. Oh, cancel culture, woke police.
All he needed to do is get that one stat out there, and the generation that's going to see it and grabs onto it and doesn't let it go with its teeth like a shepherd.
Like a what?
Like a shepherd, like a German shepherd.
Oh, okay.
What do you think she said?
I think you meant the guy that herds sheep. I was like, what are they not that great?
No, I meant like a dog, cat dog. But,
let's go, sheep. Come on. All right, let's get out of here. We'll be right back.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but get the key points.
Yeah. All right, well. There you go.
Oh, she hit it.
Is she for
She
real?
did.
You're frustrated, Amy.
My kids don't even scream like that when they get shots.
They're not Mariah Carey. They don't got high notes to hit.
She sounded like a puppy that's crying in the middle of the night. Like it just, Mariah. At least we know she can still hit the note.
Yeah, she's looking for any excuse to just hit a high note. Just like any stage right now.
She had
even
twins.
if it's just getting shot.
Yeah.
And she's crying about the shot. She's had twins, delivered 2 babies at once. Not at once, but close enough.
Also, does every
Amy
celebrity
called
have to
Mariah
tell us
Carey
when
a
they get
punk.
vaccinated? Yeah. Oh, yeah, she did. Hey, everyone. Don't wait. Vaccinate. Of course, we've been pushing this a lot. We want you to get on out there and get your shot when you can. We partner with the Chicago Sun-Times to bring you stories, information about COVID-19, and, of course, the vaccine availability. If you get a chance to get vaccinated, do not wait.
You said it. Thanks, Don. Hollywood headlines are coming up right after the break. Don't go anywhere. 15. It's 15.
Oodles of time.
I can read headlines quick. All right, it's time for some Hollywood headlines. And there's another billionaire in the Kardashian-Jenner household. It's the OG Kim. She earned $35 million just from her beauty, clothing, makeup, and iPhone game combined. She's got a lot of money coming in. All right, and the man formerly known as Prince Harry and his wife Meghan, they just announced Archwell, their newest Netflix show. So the series will be all about the Invictus Games. And it's been 10 years since GOT premiered on HBO. Say what? So you can celebrate the entire month. You can check out behind-the-scenes content and cast interviews online starting April 17th. And let me fill you in on this. So Addison Rae, she was on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon a week-ish ago, and she taught him a few TikTok dances. The problem, none of these were original choreo from Addison Rae. So Fallon decided to make things right.
Now, we recognize that the creators of those dances deserve to have their own spotlight. So right now, some of the creators will join me to talk about how their dance went viral and then perform the dance themselves.
Oh, okay. That looks, yeah.
He shined a good spotlight on those creators. They got a lot of time. They all got an interview and got to dance. It was great. It was a great example of a celebrity doing right.
There
Definitely
we
a good
go.
gesture by him. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Savage.
Yeah, there was a lot of backlash about this. I'm glad that they made it right.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
It's a good gesture by Jimmy. I would have liked to have seen him try to do the moves himself, but you know, I
really
is a good.
Why?
I think he's a singer, not a dancer.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
don't think it's
That's
style.
true. I mean, it's
That's
kind of
hard to
funny
think about
watching a
TikTok.
grown man try to do the savage dance. I'm a savage. Oh, I don't even know the move.
It's like watching Brandon Pope do it.
I'm not
I'd
going
rather
to
see you
try
doing
to.
that.
No,
Yeah.
Back,
we don't want
everybody.
that.
Yeah, I like to see Brandon do as many moves as possible. All right, good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a great Tuesday night. We're moving and we're shaking through the show tonight. This is the Jam. John, Amy, and Brandon taking you through.
Yeah, we had a lot of warm weather out there today, so unfortunately we got some bad news to start this half of the hour. As violence tends to rise, as the temperatures do, today a 2-year-old boy is paying the price. He is in critical condition at Lurie's after being shot in the head during a road rage incident on Lakeshore Drive this morning near LSD and Monroe. Police say the shooter and the victims do not know each other. It appears someone didn't let the other person into the traffic lane, and there was road rage there. Really unfortunate story. I feel like we hear this every summer to some degree, whether it is a drive-by unintended target or something along the same lines. And it's not going to get better unless they work to tighten these gun laws.
It's really, really just disheartening anytime anyone is shot, but especially a child, a 2-year-old. Like,
yeah.
And the most frustrating thing about it is this happens almost every summer. We have a child that is caught in the crossfire or becomes the victim of gun violence when that kid really had nothing to do with whatever dispute was going on. It's not right. And it makes me, we have obviously a crisis here when it comes to the gun problem in Chicago, but there's an empathy problem here going on as well to allow yourself to, bring a gun into a situation where there's kids in the car. That itself right there to me, that's just, you don't have empathy going on. You've lost that sense because you're just so upset. It's terrible.
Well, yeah. Although who knows if they knew
Brandon,
there was a kid in the car. Yeah.
Yeah, just to clarify, I think someone shot into a car. They might not have known the kid was there because of a car seat, right? So not that it makes it any better.
Then, it's just human life, like just to shoot blind shots.
That's the part.
Spraying shots. Ridiculous.
Yeah. And as you know, I was just checking up on Twitter right before we came back from break, and they updated. The mayor says the child was 1 year old. Not that it matters, of course, an infant either way. And I just am blown away that, look, I am not I'm an okay driver, but I do get angry when I'm driving. I'm kind of embarrassed of how stressed out I am when I'm driving. Seriously, right? Like, I've honked if you're like sitting at a green light and you're not going. I'll go pretty quickly, honk at you. But like, I cannot comprehend how someone could get so upset with another driver that they would yell at them, would flick them off, let alone take a gun and shoot it. Like, I know that violence and all this is a huge issue. Don't get me wrong, but like, we have got some serious mental health stress issues that is escalating on our roadways and has been for a long time that we need to address.
Yes. Yeah, 100%, Johnny. Because I at the same time, it's a problem in our neighborhoods. It's a problem in our community. And I don't want to take the blame off that person because they did do something very, very, very wrong. But it is an overall reaching problem that we've talked about many, many times on this show. There are community health issues that are not being addressed in this city. And things happen because of that. Whatever the steamroll behind it was, again, we've always talked about this. You never know what someone's situation is. That does not make it okay for that person to grab a gun. But our community as a whole needs to embrace people and make healthcare better so that people can get healthier. Like, I cannot wrap my head around this. And as a parent, holy devastation. Remember, this is at 11 o'clock this morning. We're not talking about something happened at 2 a.m. and some kid was out with some parents. Like, what happened?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Just ridiculous. We need to expand mental health access to these neighborhoods as well that are lacking too. All right, some more stuff to talk about with Chicago in 60, guys. Chicago headlines. There's the honk. Vice President Kamala Harris, she made a quick stop in Chicago today, touring a vaccination site and touting the American Jobs Plan. There you can see her in her signature pantsuit vest, greeting the frontline workers there. Pretty quick stop as she went back to D.C. shortly after.
Hey, Brandon, are you okay? I think you need to clear your throat or something. Sorry. Yeah. You want me to take over the rest of this one? I can do that for you.
I think I got it. I just needed to do a little clearing of the throat there. I appreciate it.
No, you're good. It was a quick visit, by the way. And I was surprised. I guess I'm not surprised. And there was kind of a snafu about where this press conference would be afterwards. Would the vice president be a part of it? Would she not? And the answer was no. And off she went.
Exactly. Yeah, very quick indeed. Good news, John. I know you're going to like this. The Cubs are going to honor legendary pitcher Fergie Jenkins with a statue outside Wrigley Fairgrounds. It could be complete by the year 2022. Great gesture there.
Oh, Fergie Jenkins, so good. Such a great gentleman and a real power horse for the Cubs through the 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes, indeed. And a self-sanitizing diaper changer designed by a Chicago mom is going to be installed at Guaranteed Rate Field where the White Sox play. It's also going to be in some other places around the city. And it sanitizes through a patented UV light system in 1 minute or less. Pretty interesting. And probably a big help for moms too.
Well, and I'm sure you guys have walked into, they have family, bathrooms now where the table comes down. You might not have seen it before, but the table comes down. You don't know what's been on that table before. And the thought of putting your child on it head to toe is kind of disgusting, but you really don't have a choice because you're either going to put them on that table or on the floor of your car, because where else are you going to change the kid if you're traveling? So this is amazing. I'm very excited to see it because, whole thing's gross, start to finish.
We know that obviously it sanitizes it, but like it doesn't like clean it or wipe it down. If like you still have to take care of some, if anything, like you know what I'm saying, right?
Well,
like if there was a bit of a disaster.
Parents who have morals or standards would actually, if their kid has an accident that goes everywhere, will clean it up.
Okay, good. So. I sure hope so.
I hope.
Okay, we're good.
Sheesh.
I'll leave it at that.
And John, we got a note here. Indiana, they've made a big move.
Oh yes, that's right. Indiana's sorry, right there in the script for me. That's for me to read. Yes, the face mask mandate has been lifted in Indiana. Although we should note that private businesses still, and there's a laundry list of them that are still going to require face masks throughout the state of Indiana. But that ban did lift here just today officially.
Yeah.
So double check what your laws are locally. Yep, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that new CW show, Kung Fu, premieres tomorrow. A young woman who uses her martial arts skills to save her city from crime. So today's strong woman, Paula Lazarz, one of only 10 female Kung Fu masters in the country. She teaches right here in Chicago and taught me a thing or two.
Well, ironically, as I was growing up, I wasn't interested in martial arts at all. But at the time of my life that I was in, I felt very vulnerable and I felt that I needed some practical self-defense. So it was a very practical minded decision to pursue martial arts, not for exercise or anything like that.
When you started, were there a lot of women even doing it? Because I feel like it wasn't very popular back then.
Yeah, there was not a lot of women, but ironically, I knew nothing about karate, kung fu, taekwondo, nothing. I was investigating all these schools, and the school I did sign up at happened to be kung fu. And the main reason I signed up is they had a young female black belt there. She was about my size and kind of loud and energetic like I am. And I thought to myself, if these men that are here could put up with her, they could put up with me, I'm signing up.
I love that, because and also because there are so many disciplines in Chinese martial arts.
Right.
How did you choose Kung Fu?
It was just a happy accident. I went to the school. I liked the people that were there. I signed up. They told me it was Kung Fu. I knew nothing about it, but luckily it was like falling in love with somebody unexpectedly. Like you turn the corner and bam. And I absolutely fell in love with it very deeply, and it took over my whole life.
What did it take to get to that level?
Honestly, Amy, it's like anything. If you really love something, regardless of the obstacles in your way, you're going to find that you have to pursue it. And the good thing about having obstacles in your way is it teaches you how much you love something. So it was kind of like that. Anytime something got hard, martial arts by itself is difficult for anybody to practice if they're within a pretty good system and they actually learn some self-defense. So it's hard for anybody. But that difficulty is what attracted me to it.
All right, so are you going to show us some cool moves?
Are you going to do it with me?
I am, but first I want to see you do them.
Okay, so bring the elbow back and we're turning our waist right. Now just step back while you do it so you get a little more power. Exactly. Okay, now we're going to think about the attacker in front of us as well. So just bring the other hand out in a simple block. So if someone's trying to punch us straight in, we're diverting the attack. Okay, now do both of those at the same time. nice. Amy, do it again. Come on. No, you can do this. Okay, now step back. There you go. And then if we get really crazy, we could sidekick the person there. Yeah!
All right. Health Kick Kung Fu is located in Old Town. It's info right there on the screen for in-person, outdoor, and virtual classes. Catch the Kung Fu premiere this Wednesday at 7 p.m. on CW26.
You're good doing that, Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I think I can get into that. Whoa.
If you applied yourself, I could see you actually like being a pretty, pretty
Dope.
Masterful person at this.
Because I know what you wanted to say. I was changing your word for you.
Yeah.
Brandon, could you say that any more condescendingly?
I
With
can't
a
wait to
little
see
hard
where it's
work there,
going.
Amy. Yeah, you were like mansplaining kung fu
Like-
to the woman who just did it.
Like
Now,
I'm
if
some
you're-
kung fu master myself.
Yeah.
Or,
In
the great
Brandon's
kung fu
defense,
master
I know where
Brandon
he's
Poe.
going. I know where he's going, and I was trying to help him like wordily change it. So
Yes,
Keep
yes.
at
I just had
it,
to get my
kid. You'll
words
get.
together.
You'll be a master one day.
One day. Because I do want to mention before we move on, Kung Fu new show coming out. I got a chance to talk to some of the stars of that show. You'll hear from them tomorrow. Really great. Can't wait for you guys to check it out.
awesome.
Hey, Krista.
Great stuff. All right, coming up later in Deep Dish, we're paying tribute to an absolutely iconic, and I say iconic website that's leaving the internet forever, okay? Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
And after the break, actor Camrus Johnson, he's here to talk season 2 of the CW's Batwoman and his own comic writing. We'll be right back.
All right, 7-day forecast here. You can see spotty showers pretty much the next couple of days. These are not major rain events. Saturday looks a little rainy, but again, all these temperatures at or above average. This forecast brought to you by United Auto Insurance. Get your free quote, call or click today. Amy.
Hey, a group of calling itself White Lives Matter says it has stolen a Confederate monument from a Selma, Alabama cemetery, and it's holding it until demands are met. So this is Confederate President Jefferson Davis's chair. The ransom note threatening its future. The group wants the United Daughters of the Confederacy to hang a banner quoting a Black Liberation Army activist, which reads, quote, "The rulers of this country have always considered their property more important than our lives. Now, if the banner is not hung, the monument will be turned into a toilet." That's what they said. It is valued at about $500,000. Interesting.
Oh, wow. I love it. I think this is a beautiful way to twist things. This would be a great like movie. Like this reminds me of like the movie Inglourious Basterds or something. Like just kind of have this ransom thing happen with these Confederate statues and weird relics.
Clever.
It could be something. Yeah.
Is there any way we can get the picture up there? I will say that it's not going to require much work to turn into a toilet. You just kind of throw a bucket down there, you got it. So it's not too labor intensive there to do that. I think it's clever. Way to go.
Not very comfortable though. You lose comfort.
Ooh, yeah, that looks like that's not a throne, you know, especially if a guy were on there, he's out of there quick. Maybe that's the secret to getting guys off the toilet quicker.
Interesting. How this is twisted.
This is genius.
Are you saying guys spend more on the toilet than women? I don't know.
Oh yeah. You want to fight on this one?
There are so many places we could take this. Oh.
Do I have to break down the anatomy for Krista here a little bit? No, let's not do that. But very good. Very clever. There's no way they're going to do it. I'm so curious to see how this thing will end up.
Wrap them up, John. Wrap them up.
Oh, we got to set up? Okay, we got to go.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
You don't know the first thing about cocaine, and you sure as hell don't know anything about that symbol.
Trust me, I know I'm not a symbol.
Actor Camrus Johnson, a.k.a. Luke Fox in the CW's Batwoman, is using not just his acting chops, but his writing ones on his latest project. And Camrus is back with us now. Always great talking to you, man. And yeah, you got this comic you're getting into. You're actually writing a Luke Fox comic series. Talk a little bit about that for us.
I am. First of all, what's up, everybody? Good to see y'all.
Hey, I love you, Camrus.
I love y'all. So good to be here.
Love you too.
Man. So yeah, things are going well, man. So first of all, the comic book. I was talking to DC quite a bit ago about writing. I've had an indie comic in the works for quite some time. So since they knew that I had some interest and some experience in writing comic books, they asked if I wanted to work on this graphic novel. So we were working on a graphic novel for a bit, put that on pause. And then they asked if I wanted to make a story about Luke Fox. And they pretty much let me have fun with it. They just wanted to have a new 10-page, fun, action-packed story. And I basically could have sort of taken it anywhere. So I decided on what I decided on. I don't want to ruin it, but it's very fun. And I'm really excited for people to see that. And yeah, I mean, anytime that I can do anything with the character of Luke Fox, whether it be on the show or in comic book form, I'm going to take it. So I'm glad that I can sort of expand on this character any way that I can.
All right, so let's talk about Luke Fox. You've got season 2 of Batwoman with Javicia Leslie. So a new Batwoman. How is it on the set working with a new Batwoman?
It's been awesome. So Javisi is one of the coolest people I've ever had the pleasure to work with. I think she's so fun and she's such a joy to have on set. She's just like, in between takes, we're dancing and we're singing and we're playing games. And she comes to this show with such integrity and she wants to do such a good job. So she's so professional and every single day she just comes wanting to kill it. So it's incredible to work with someone like her because, she's new to this show, she's new to this family, and she came right in basically saying, I want to do a good job, but also I want to have a great time. So that's been really great of just having this brand new energy on set, this new energy where she just comes ready to go, but also she's making sure that the jokes never stop. So it's been so much fun working with her.
Awesome.
Camrus, you're like one of the nicest people. We got to hang out with you a bunch a couple falls ago when we were allowed to do that, which was awesome. And I knew you were a super talented guy, right? Of course, you had grabbed my hand, you wrote, directed, all this sort of stuff. But you actually have one other skill that you never showed off for us. Let's roll this clip here.
Oh, man.
We fit together nicely. We're going to be the next big thing.
You are already the next big thing. That's from the movie The Sun Is Also a Star. You sang the national anthem at a Lakers game. Why did you not serenade us for hours and hours while we were sitting in the mall in
Listen, hey, I can't give you too many things at once. I need you to invite me back. You know what I'm saying? I gotta give you piece by piece. Yeah, singing has always been a passion of mine. It's funny because I didn't know that I could sing until a year after I learned that I could act. So singing came a little bit after acting, and a couple of my friends still to this day tell me that they think that I would have been a singer if I found it first. And I don't really know. I love them both so much, and I just have so much more experience acting. Singing, I just really got a vocal coach last year, and I haven't seen her in quite some time because of COVID and all, but I have 2 songs out and I really want to make more time for music because I love it. And I want to perform more or perform at all. I want to release more music. I just want to, make the time to get into it. And I had a project in development last year that I was really excited about. I wanted to get on stage for the first time last year. But then, COVID hit and restrictions hit, and for everyone's safety, I wanted just to wait a little bit. But yeah, man, I love music and I'm still finding my voice too. So eventually when I figure out exactly where I want to go with music, there'll be no stopping me.
Awesome.
I mean, would an actor wear this headband? This is a musician's headband. This is a musician's bandana.
That's
I look
real.
like I play guitar.
That is.
That's an artist headband. That's a visionary headband right
You know what I'm
there,
saying?
man. Yes. A true creative. Hey, you've been on a wave, man. Congratulations. Really appreciate you. And always a pleasure talking to you, Camrus.
Right back at y'all. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Good
Camrus.
seeing you, man. You can keep up
You
with
too.
all of what Camrus is up to with his projects on Instagram. And of course, watch him Sunday nights on Batwoman. We'll be right back. It's back home. It's like a 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock type of thing. I bet people love their Jeopardy.
All right, this is the part where we dish or we go deep or we do both. It's deep dish. And Guys, this is sad.
Nailed
The
it.
place where the internet's strangest questions lived is shutting down. That's right. Yahoo Answers is done, RIP, and it's leaving for good on May 4th. So to commemorate the end of Yahoo Answers, we turned to this site for our most burning questions we've never found the answers to. We're going to kick it off with my own. So, I had to ask Yahoo Answers before it was too late. How can I become internet famous? Take pictures of your toes and put them on the internet. I have considered that and never done it.
Wow.
Learn a tribal dance to summon a natural disaster. Okay.
Oh, that's no good.
Try that.
Okay.
Horribly wrong, Krista. Horribly wrong.
Okay, never mind. Audition for a big movie, dummy. Okay, jeez. I don't think you need to be famous. I think you need to get shrink. I think you need a shrink.
Oh, that's fair.
Oh man. The last one's probably the best advice. Amy, what was yours?
Who else?
Well, let's see. Is social media making us dumber? I believe the internet itself should have never been allowed into the hands of the masses. Yes! Certainly all Twitter users are twits. We as people must forgive social media for becoming us with the big, dumb ham animal we feared we would. And yes, and Yahoo Answers is the worst.
They really are. I can see why they're shutting down. Yeah, for sure.
By the way,
Here's
props to the person that says Yahoo Answers is the worst, not are the worst, because it's a one.
collective noun. Yes, very good. Very good grammar,
There you
police. Okay, mine was what stock should I buy? Like, that's what I want to know. Apple's doing pretty good. I know that. I already have some. If you ask that, you're not mature enough to invest money. Come on. Brandon, what was yours?
Probably
look
good call.
at that baby face. Okay, how can I get rich quick? Marry money. Oh, marry rich. That's the plan. Go to Switzerland, work as a cashier. Okay.
Oh, I got it.
If you're good looking, dance naked. That could be the alternative for me.
That's what the jury's
that's
on.
what it's gonna be. Yes, OnlyFans, there might be a market out there for me. Who knows?
I don't know.
Watch out.
Very small
Jury's
market.
out on that one.
Brandon.
You think it's a small margin of people?
We'll let you guys all go before we show that. All right.
Vanna White,
Tomorrow,
tomorrow
the one and only Vanna White joins us talking about her 38 seasons on Wheel of Fortune. Plus, we'll ask what her secret is